today's video, we are going over the top 10 dental marketing ideas for you to grow your practice. Now, why would you be watching this video in the first place?
Wow, that's a great question.
Maybe you tried Google ads, Facebook ads, you tried, I don't know, cold calling people, you tried something and it didn't work out. Now, before you go crazy, before you start making TikTok videos, embarrassing yourself online,
please don't do that.
Let me give you some tips on how to grow your practice outside just the conventional way. In today's video, I want to get a little more sophisticated than running Google ads or saying something like that. I want us to get in detail, give you the tactics that you need in order to grow and get more patients. Now, before we jump into these strategies, I want you to think critically. I want you to think about, what is my actual problem when I'm running ads? If you're running Google ads, for example, and you're getting leads, but maybe no one's coming in, really diagnose why that's happening. If you don't solve that root cause to begin with, maybe you didn't provide enough trust on the front end, or you didn't get people familiar enough with you, what you stand for, your service, then you'll never know what the actual problem is, and you'll end up repeating the same problem on a different platform. It's really important for me to stress this before we go over anything, because I've seen so many dentists make the same mistake in a different field, meaning they tried Facebook ads and then they run over to Google ads thinking it's going to solve their problem, and then end up making the same mistake on that platform and just kind of give up on everything. Don't be that person. Listen to this, diagnose your own problem, really find out what the actual underlying issue is on why people aren't coming in, and then make your decision based on that. That being said, these are the 10 ideas that I came up with in growing your practice. The first idea is a Facebook storytelling series. Now, I've asked dentists some of the stories that they've had in their practice, even some just in terms of dating. I even asked them, were there any scenarios where a patient hit on you or something like that? Just curious to see if something was happening around Valentine's Day, and got some pretty interesting responses. So there's always a story, even if you don't want to tailor it that way. If you want to talk about just a funny story, something happening, people find that entertaining, and they're going to be engaged, and ultimately they're going to start to know, like, and trust you as a person. All these tips are designed to get people to know, like, and trust you. This is necessary for them before they come into the office and actually start accepting cases, start actually becoming loyal, ready to spend patients. If you're not comfortable sharing a funny story, maybe what you can do is start documenting a day in your life. The important thing is to master the art of storytelling. One of my favorite albums in middle school, but really think about how you can make things interesting, how you can really invite and bring patients in to take a closer look at what you guys do. Now, doing this in an entertainment fashion is going to get people engaged with you. They're going to start to become familiar with you, and it's ultimately going to bring them closer into who you stand for. Now, my second tip is for the tech-savvy dentists, ones that maybe are a little more comfortable posting in TikTok or in video platform. I know I said not to dance. Please don't embarrass yourself on TikTok for the sake of yourself and everyone else. Please don't do that. But really focus on what you can start to tell patients before they come in. A great angle to take on TikTok is go the educational route. Start to educate patients on the process of Invisalign or implants or whatever service that is most advantageous or profitable to you. Really dive into detail in what it looks like for you to treat these cases, what these cases typically go through, maybe the potential problems or the risks. Going more of an educational approach is going to get people interested, and not only are they learning but getting value from it, they're also starting to trust you as an authority figure. Now, this is probably the best thing that you could do. It's the fastest growing platform. The patients that are on here are typically a little bit younger, so maybe advertise for things like Invisalign, ones that kind of cater to that younger audience, but really dive into detail on the educational aspect, really giving them value for why they're watching in the first place. Another idea on how to grow your practice is feature your staff in posts. Now, this sounds kind of a roundabout way of doing this, but think about this. Let's say we're on Instagram and it's Kathy's birthday. Let's say Kathy's the office manager. If you make a post talking about who Kathy is as a person, what she likes to do, and then celebrate in a way that's specific and unique to her, not only are you honoring and uplifting your employees, kind of increasing the patient experience within the office, but you're also inviting people to not only affirm her, but also connect with her as a person. This is important because anytime you can get people to connect with you or your staff, with your practice, you're going to get people to come in. Now, this is effective because you'll start to get comments on Kathy. That's the name I used in the example. People that have interacted with her that came to your office are going to comment, like it, love it, saying, oh my gosh, Kathy was amazing. She really helped me out with such and such. Maybe they had an issue with insurance and Kathy helped figure that out. Then they're going to mention that, and it's going to provide social proof for why people should come in and pick you as a dentist.
Go Kathy. She's like 50.
This is one of my favorite ones because not only do you get to honor the people that are already with you, but you also get to use it as an opportunity to give the recognition and credit that they actually deserve. The next thing you could do is follow up with patients over text message. Now, before you start calling people and leaving weird voicemails.
Hi, this is Paul.
Listen to this. Let's give an example. Let's say it's Wednesday, and on Friday you found you had some cancellations, maybe some people had to reschedule, and you have some openings in the morning. The best thing you could do is follow up with people that either canceled a previous appointment or people that need to reschedule from 6 months ago or prior. You can take that list of people and one by one you start to send personalized text messages. There's ways to do this through different types of software. I have found great success when I've done this for some of my clients. But basically all you say is, hey, first name. So, hey, John, we have some openings for this Friday morning. Wanted for you to check your schedule. You're one of the first people that came to mind. Sending this text message that's personalized and in a way that really is respectfully coming into the patient's environment and their phone through text message, we're really able to connect with them and get them scheduled on that appointment. I've done this for my clients and we've gotten some great results. The main thing is really scripting the message or saying it in a way where it's coming from the voice of the front desk. So it's best if the front desk sends it because it doesn't sound weird. It sounds more personal, saying like, hey, we have an opening. You came to mind. Do you want this slot? That will help you get some of those lost appointments filled back in so that you can keep a full schedule. The next dental marketing idea is become the referral king. A good way to do this is to feature office tours or have patient testimonials featured in your stories, either on Facebook or Instagram. Now, this is a great way for someone that's on the fence or maybe a little uncomfortable about the dentist in the first place. It's a good way for them to kind of look in at the office as if they're just kind of peeking through a glass door and kind of see what's going on and what a typical day looks like. Having the office tour in a place that's easy to access will ultimately get more people to see it. That's why putting it on your Facebook as well as your Instagram is a lot more effective. This next tip is great for pediatric dentists or anyone that works closely with a lot of kids. One good thing you can do is post in different Facebook groups. A great way to do this is to introduce yourself, or better yet, have one of your patients introduce or talk about a testimony, something that they had done, maybe a root canal or a crown that they had from you in one of those groups. The best groups to do this in are any type of a sports league, maybe a mommy and me group if you're a pediatric dentist. Anything where moms, typically the number of people that make the most decisions in dentists or dentistry in general are women 35 and up. That's like a little statistic there. Wanted to drop that on you guys. But finding where those moms or these 35-year-old women hang out online, that sounds so weird. Finding out where these people gather will ultimately help you position yourself as the go-to dentist. One caveat here, do not spam or do anything weird when you're introducing yourself. Just make it genuine, saying like, hey, like I was in the neighborhood, I noticed a lot of other people, maybe you're in a developing neighborhood and people are building a lot of new houses next to you. Say, hey, if you're new to the area, feel free to come out, check out the practice. Maybe you could have an open house. Don't do any like promotions or like this much for cleaning. I mean, it's up to you, but wouldn't suggest that on Facebook. People are there to interact and socialize. The best way you can do that is to have a little introduction and something that would get people to engage with you. Number 7, one of my favorite tips right now, get people to refer you on Nextdoor.
Wait, you can do that?
If you can get a patient testimonial on Nextdoor, just talking about like, hey, if anyone's in this neighborhood, I just got some care or root canal done from Dr. Tim down the street. He was great. I loved it. Anything in that environment will do wonders for your practice. A couple of reasons why. Nextdoor is kind of a vacuum in that sense. Not a lot of dentists are advertising there. Not a lot of people know about that. But if you can get someone to talk about you in a good way, obviously, in one of these platforms, it does wonders. The next tip is to follow up with your email list. Now, a lot of dentists have email lists. A lot of my clients usually have one of these lists, but usually it's kind of pushed off to the side. It's kind of, oh, if I get to it, it's kind of forgotten. It's really important to stay on top of your email list. Email is not dead. People check their email, especially if it's coming from a practice or someone that they have their info already. People that know you and you email them, odds are they're going to open it. They're going to see this. So if you have a special, if you're sending out mailers, you can use the same offer on those mailers. You can just put it in the email. If you do this on a consistent basis, you are bound to get new patients. If you don't believe me, try it out for yourself and see what happens in a good way. See what happens in a good way, not a bad way. The next tip is to host an event. Now, crowd marketing is kind of a cuss word in the dental world community. Usually when I talk to a practice owner, they have horror stories, or maybe not horror stories. They just look back on the first couple months or first couple years of them starting their practice. They look at how much running around they had to do, all the events they had to do, and kind of quiver or shake when they think about hosting an event.
I don't want to go back.
For those of you who are maybe a little scared or a little nervous when it comes to an event, the best thing that you could do is put your staff party and your new patient minglers on the same night. Now, before you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. Listen to this. You have your new patient minglers. First off, you want to do that not in a restaurant. You want to be able to walk around. Think of yourself as a politician. Think about, you have your sleeves rolled up. You got maybe the first couple buttons of your shirt undone, and you're just mingling out with the good old folk. Think about that as you're doing these new patient events. You want to be somewhere where showcases you outside of a professional or a polite environment. Patients that see you in this light are bound to connect with you on a different level, because you won't just be their dentist. You'll be the dentist that is really good at bowling for some reason and really loves mountain biking.
Man, that's what bowling is all about.
Who knows, maybe you'll go mountain biking or do some of your hobbies with some of your patients. Especially if you're introverted or events are tough or challenging, this is a great way for you to not only save time in the planning process, but also be able to connect with people and your staff at the same time. Now, you want to have your staff party in another location so you don't have any type of patients that kind of mingle around and want to stay longer than maybe they should. You know what I mean? Number 10, it wouldn't be right if I didn't talk about this, but you can advertise on Facebook. Let's think a little outside the box when it comes to traditional Facebook marketing. I don't want you to think of lead forms or just simply picture ads going to the original website. I want you to look at it in a creative way. I go very into depth in this Facebook process on other videos, but for the sake of time, let me just run through everything really fast. When it comes to marketing on Facebook, creative is everything. Creative is your picture or your video. You need to be engaging. You need to find out how you can bring patients into what you already have going on. What I mean by this is having an offer or having $99 for a new patient exam as an ad on Facebook. Remember, Facebook is a place where people come to socialize, they come to interact and mingle. When they see that, it's a turnoff. In fact, their brain doesn't even see it. They scroll right past it. Really keep in mind what you could do in your creative to pull people in and get them interested in what you have to say. I go very into depth in some other videos. I'll probably have linked at the end of the video, or they'll just be in suggested. They'll be on my channel somewhere. Feel free to watch those or ask me any questions. If you're interested in having me run ads for your practice, I do have a link in the description below. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Feel free to like, comment, consider subscribing if you want to join the family, and I will talk to you later.